Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So that little montage, as you guys can tell, I went and shot a roll of film through a Rolliflex TLR. Quick story how I got this bad boy, this thing right here. I was over at my mom's house and my mom's neighbor saw that I was over there and texted me and she said, hey, come on over, I have something I want to give you. And when I showed up there, she explained to me that her husband, who had passed away many, many years ago, was into cameras and she had a bag of cameras. Now I went through it and a couple of them are like really old cameras that haven't been used in, I don't know, 60, 70 years and they were unusable. But this Rolliflex was in here. This Rolliflex TLR was in there. And she said, hey, listen, this is my husband's. You're not allowed to sell it, whatever. But since I know you're into cameras and you're shooting some film stuff, if you want to take this and see if it works, go for it. And I said, yeah, I'll do that. So she gave me this Rolliflex and also a flash. I haven't even tried to see if that flash works yet. And I was excited to play with it. And so before I got it CLA'd or whatever is going on, which I haven't done yet, I wanted to see just how bad, what kind of condition this thing was in. And so as you guys saw in the beginning of the video, I rolled up a roll of Arista EDU 400. Why did I pick that? Well, two reasons. One, it's black and white, and I kind of have the ability to develop that at home, even though I'm not sure what I'm doing. And the second reason is because it's the cheapest roll of film that I could find on B&H Photo. Candidly, that's it. And so I loaded this bad boy up with some Arista EDU 400 and went out shooting. And so I want to tell you guys my experience about the experience using this whole thing. It's kind of interesting, right? So if you're not familiar with the Rolliflex, this is kind of how it works. Let me see if I can put this mic on my collar and show you guys. Okay, we'll see if this works. Hopefully it's okay. So how this thing basically works, I'm not trying to be some self-proclaimed expert on this, but you pop this thing up, you can look through the viewfinder here. Hopefully this focuses. And when you look through there, you kind of get this, it's like a top-down viewfinder, and you look through here and you can see what's coming out of these two lenses here. One is for focusing and one is for actually taking the pictures. I think the top one is for focusing and the bottom one is for actually taking the pictures. And so, yeah, so like I said, if you look right here, this is where you focus with this knob right here, and the front goes in and out. You see the front going in and out when I do that? And there you get hyperfocal distance on here. And the front, these two little small dials right here in the front, these are your aperture and your shutter speed. There is no ISO film rating setting because there's no metering in this particular camera. And so in the beginning of the video, you saw me meter with a film metering app on my phone. I don't know how accurate that is, and I'll get into the results in just a second. But the other thing that's kind of cool is if you flip this guy up right here on the top, this is a magnifier, so it helps you kind of see focus. Now here's the problem with this camera to kind of see how bad it was. The screen that's on here, there's a screen and there's some mirrors inside this bad boy. The mirror is all corroded, and so that makes the image very difficult to see, and the screen's really hazy and foggy too. But what's interesting about this, and I could see why people love this camera, when you look down and you get to see the image in front of you, it's a different experience than putting some up to your eye, and it's a different experience than holding this like up and looking through a screen, this being my A7C II. It's almost like you're observing a picture before it happens. Oh, that didn't make sense. But it's kind of a cool experience. But the challenge in focusing this thing, and I wish I could show you guys, is that when you, oh, look at this. I can't show you guys. Will this show up on here if I do this? See that big spot right there? That's because this softbox light is going into the top here and highlighting some of the mirror corrosion. Anyways, when you look down through this viewfinder, this top-down viewfinder, and when you're composing your image, right, you're looking like this, it's almost like opposite, has an opposite effect. You know, when you're holding a camera to your eye, you kind of see your tilt up and down. It's like your head, right? And it's easy. And then you tilt left to right. Your head's used to making that motion, so when the camera's up to your eye, it makes a lot of sense. But when you look down through this, it's almost like an opposite effect happens. It was very hard for me to compose straight lines because any kind of like tilt at all with the camera made the thing look totally, like the horizontals and the verticals it was very difficult for me, especially since you're holding it down here, right? And if you want to shoot something that's more eye level, you're going to have to tilt the camera, and that throws off everything. Now, one way to kind of go about that and fix that is that if you look through, if you push this bad boy in right here, see this? And you look through this box on the back, that's like the sport viewfinder. So you kind of get like this, looking through here, you can kind of see things. I'll just click back up and there it goes. You can kind of look through here and you get more of that typical thing. But it doesn't actually show you your image. This is just like a square. It's like putting one of those optical viewfinders on top of a Ricoh GR or like an old Leica that doesn't have frame lines for a lens you're using. It's just a reference point, whereas this actually, looking top down, shows you what you actually want. So as you guys can see from the results, they didn't come out very good. There's a lot of factors that go into that. Like I said, I used a phone app to do the light metering. I shot some stuff in the snow, and so as you guys know, a meter typically wants to turn everything to like, what is it, some percentage gray, 18% gray or something like that. And so I made the assumption to overexpose by like a stop. That could have been a mistake. I also developed in a somewhat old batch of DF96 monobath, and I followed the quicker instructions because I'm impatient, which is heat the DF96 to 80 degrees and agitate constantly for 3 minutes. So that could have been a problem with it. But on top of that, when I took the film out of the back of this, the mechanism that winds this up wasn't, I don't think it's operating properly because well, let me show you something. So I pulled the roll 120 out of the Rolliflex, but look how loose this is. Hold on. Is there light leaking in there? Is that what's going on? You can see right through it. Does this mean this roll is pretty screwed? Why was it so loose coming out of the back of the camera? What did I do wrong? First of all, if you look at the film, there was a lot of film that wasn't exposed. See, this is all blank. So for some reason, the camera told me that it was done and it should not have been. Or maybe this is normal. Maybe people that shoot Rolliflexes, you tell me. But I'm supposed to get like 12 exposures out of this roll of film. I only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I think I'm missing a few on the top. The second is the actual film was not wound tightly, and so there were gaps on the paper. And so if you get like little light leaks to the paper, it's going to cause like ghosting and hazing on your film. I think that was part of the problem as well. So there was a lot of factors that could have gone into why this didn't go well. But on top of that, you can see there's this crease going down the film. And I think that's also because something had to have happened in the camera. Long story short, I learned a lot learning to shoot this thing. I think it's super cool. It needs to go in for a CLA for sure. And after that, maybe I'll have more confidence in what I'm doing. But I can see myself being low and slow with this and real intentional and putting some 120 film through it and shooting some landscapes. This square format's awesome. I think this is a pretty cool camera. I hope I can get this thing refurbished. Somebody in a few videos ago sent me an email, said, hey, for that Rolliflex, take it to a place in Windsor, Ontario, which is just over the border here in Detroit. And I think I might do that. I think that might be a good idea. It's just a crazy, this thing's cool. Like, sorry, I'm all over the place. If you guys take this thing apart or open the back up, right? This one has the setup where you put the film through here and it creates tension. And so you don't have to line up the arrow on the paper film to a arrow on here when to start. You just slide it through and start rolling it, click it, and then you just wind this thing and it'll stop when it grabs tension. And then you're good to go. You shoot your photo with the shutters down here, by the way. If you didn't know, the shutter is on the bottom of this thing. And then when you're done, you just wind it, it'll click once, and then go, right? By the way, awesome shutter sound. I don't know, pretty cool camera. I think I might spend a little bit of money and get this thing refurbished when I have some extra cash laying around and spend some time with this. The lens looks clean. It's a 75 millimeter f3.5 Schneider lens. So in medium format, I don't even know what that equates to. Probably like 50 mil or something like that. And you know, it's just a fun little cool little camera. Long story short, I botched my first roll of film. I knew it'd be kind of a disaster. I did that on purpose. I developed it home. Who knows if that was the issue? The camera definitely has issues, and it was a lot of fun. You guys see some of these? Yeah, I don't know, guys. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you guys have have a Rolliflex and you have some advice for me, I appreciate it. Let me know what I did wrong here and what I could do better next time. See you in the next one.